Hi again, it's Lucy from the CSM team at Batch, and I'm here to get you started with in-apps. As a quick reminder, in-apps are the messages which can be displayed inside your app to all of your users. The first step, as seen in the previous video, was to create your own theme that you can use to create the in-apps. And this theme, by the way, can also be used to create mobile landings. We were in the settings, and now we are back on the automation tab. Here, we just need to create a new automation. So instead of picking push notifications, I'm going to pick in-app message. In here, I'm going to be able to create my first in-app. So as mentioned, an in-app can be displayed to both opt-ins and opt-outs. So it's actually a great way to capture the opt-ins of users who might have opted out by default because they did not see the value of pushes, for example. So one of the classic use case we usually recommend to start with in-apps is to do a re-opt-in campaign. So I'm going to give that name to my campaign. So I gave a name to my campaign and I have a clear purpose for it. I want to propose to my opt-outs to re-opt-in. So the first thing I need to do is to go to the targeting part of the form and add a condition on opt-outs because I want this in-app to only be displayed to opt-outs. So I just need to click on add conditions and add that condition. Like this. I added this condition. Here I'm going to target people who actually are opt-ins already, so I need to put it to no. So no, I'm only targeting users that are actually opt-outs for push notifications. If you have anything else to add, you can also do it here. It works the same way as when you want to send a campaign or another kind of automation. One of the first difference will be here. You can actually make sure that that Batch is reevaluating the targeting before the display, just in case some of the key conditions you have for the targeting might change over the course of the navigation within the app. So you can just have to put toggle in or out in here. Then once the segmentation is done, you need to pick the orchestration. An in-app is going to be a trigger in any case because it will be triggered by the opening of the app. The most used display event will be a new session, but you can actually display like trigger an in-app on another time during the navigation. And this could be at checkout, for instance. Indeed, for re-opt-in campaigns, it's actually a good idea to wait for the right moment to propose to opt in again. So when a user is really engaged with your app, just bought something, whether it's a subscription to a new magazine or they bought like a new ticket or a new new pair of shoes. It really depends. You can say that person is really engaged. Let's try to capture its opt-in and display this campaign after the checkout. Second element, the priority of your in-app. You have 3 levels of priority. Standard is the lowest one, and critical is the highest one. Basically, if you have several in-apps going on at the same time with the same display events, it would be just a way to check which one should be seen first. Then you have the capping. So it's simply the number of times your campaign should be seen by your users. In the case of a re-opt-in campaign, it could be seen 2 or 3 times by a user, just to try to have it opt-in at least 2 times. And then you can add also a grace period, which will be the time during which a user won't be able to see this campaign again. And the maximum is 7 days. Then the availability of your in-app could be on a specific date that you want to have a specific operation or not. It really depends on you. And once this is all done. The orchestration is done. You can go to the message in itself. So as you might remember, you first need to pick your theme. In my case, I want to do a model with an image. First thing, I'm adding an image to it. In the case of a re-opt-in campaign, what you want to do is to prompt user to re-opt in. So it's good to actually show them what a notification would look like on his lock screen. So that's why I'm putting this kind of image. Then you can put your text. In here, you need to really show why someone should be opted in. So the title of your message could be either like stay informed, switch notification to keep up to date. It's really up to you. So in my case, I'm going to tell my user that they should stay informed. And then you can write your text. And it's really what's important here because you need to show why they should re-opt in. And you have a lot of space in here. So don't hesitate to put some information, whether it's to never miss a deal in the case of your a retail company, or to never miss any kind of information. If you're a media company, you can just like put this here. So in my case, I would say never miss any new articles on your favorite topics, etc. Really put the value of the opt-in in here. Then the most important part will be the main buttons. The main button will be I want to activate my my notification. And then if you want your user to activate, you want them to easily go to the part of the phone where they will be able to activate the notification. So to that, you can use a specific button within Batch, which is called Smart Push Re-opt-in. You're picking Smart Push Re-opt-in, which means that when they will click on Activate, they will either see the native opt-in demand from the OS, or they would go to their settings to activate them. So it's actually pretty powerful. You can also add secondary actions if you actually want to track the clicks on this button, for instance. In my case, I don't want to do that right now. Then I'm going to add a secondary button. The secondary button will be, well, later, and it will be a simple dismiss. You can also add a tracking ID if you want to track the events within your in-app, a payload, of course. And if you're okay with your in-app, which would look like this, you can actually test it on your phone again by just adding your device in here. And if everything is going well, you're happy with your design, with everything in this page, you can review it and then either save it as a draft or save it and running. And then you will have your first in-app campaign, and in this case, you will have your first re-opt-in campaign. So perfect.